Hello.
Can you hear me, RG?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, sorry about that.
No problem.
That's just you and me so far.
Let's just hope my laptop won't overheat.
Yeah, I just couldn't figure out the slideshow, sadly. And I didn't give myself enough time to do it, but I don't know.
I did, I read some of the chapter summaries.
Good.
I cheated a little bit, but yeah.
I read half of it, but I've read it before, but yeah. I think it, the chief thing about books clubs is most of the people don't read the book anyway. And I hope in the future I will be better organized. I thought I would get it. I thought I'd have more time, actually. Oh, well.
I thought so too, and I actually started reading a little bit early, but then I got busy, and then I started book 2 last night.
No.
And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way I could finish this.
Alright, so you're probably farther along, actually.
Yeah, and then I did, yeah.
In your first read, yeah. So it's like you do forget things.
I was gonna try to finish it, but
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Let me just do the chapter summaries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, I automatically forget that we're being recorded. Oh. Yeah.
Well,
I'm great at this.
The good thing is I can't do it on. I'm not doing the Periscope since I'm doing all the broadcast for now. So we're not even live on our Twitter page. We're just live on YouTube and Discord.
Yeah.
Just jumping in quickly to say good luck.
Yep. Thanks, Ess.
Good luck.
Sorry I can't stick around today.
Oh yeah, that's why we're all here.
I'm actually gonna miss it.
I'm
gonna miss it. Miss chatting with you ladies.
I hope you have a good day and survive the heat.
Oh my gosh, it is like I just melting. I went out last night
Yeah.
to something here called the Dokkeri Shijang, which is the Goblin Night Market on the Han River. And it was fun, but like everyone was just pouring with sweat.
Yeah. Does it rain a lot during the summer at all, or is that more seasonal?
No, it does rain more during the summer, and we had a big thunderstorm yesterday, but we haven't had much rain this year. It's just been constant humidity. There's no relief whatsoever.
S, can you do me?
I say as my dress is currently sticking to my back.
Oh, always fun.
S, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Well, fight the good fight. Try to stay cool.
I will. What's the favor?
Can you put their YouTube link on our Twitter page?
Yeah.
And just say that.
I can do that.
And say that our live chat is now being broadcast there. So hopefully we'll have people go there instead. I can't. Okay.
Is it hard to set up Periscope?
What?
Okay. Alright, lots of silence. Okay. But
Alright, so I'm just typing. I'm typing. Okay.
Okay.
You guys, I'll just send out this tweet with the YouTube link, and then just give my apologies for not being able to stay, but I shall be back next month.
Yeah.
Nothing shall keep me from it.
Yeah. You should be able to take a break every now and then.
We all should be able to have a month off here and there.
Yes. And I'll fiddle with that other thing more, and maybe next time I will be on top of that.
Yeah. If you
the
just
slideshow. The slideshow.
Don't do the slideshow. The image.
Yeah,
but, we can always Skype it. You can share your desktop if you need to. So
the slideshow was kind of tricky.
Right. Have fun, enjoy, and I hope you get lots of people.
Yeah.
And is Anne joining? Is Anne?
She didn't say she wasn't, but she did say she was trying to get home at some point, didn't she? Or did she already do that?
Okay. She might be out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have fun. I'll put this tweet up and see you guys. Hear from you guys soon.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. What happened? Okay, we actually have 3 watching on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So, if you're here, say hi.
Yeah. Hello. Well, today it looks like, we got somebody.
Yay.
And that is Anne.
Oh, that's Anne? Wait, is that Anne?
Anne, or AM, librarian AM.
I'm just calling it. Hi, Destiny. All right.
Is she there? You're still muted, Anne.
No, don't go to home. She's in? She's in?
Should we
oh,
go
yeah,
ahead
she's in. Well, no. That's not Anne. It's different user, I think. Oh, is it? Oh, I don't know. Alright, let's start, I guess.
Oh.
I'll figure out how to make you guys admin on our Discord, so I'm not like guessing who's who.
Oh, are you doing some behind the scenes stuff right now?
No, I'm done. Okay, alright. Well, we'll go on. I guess we're gonna start.
Okay.
So,
alright.
Welcome everyone. Not my name. I'm admin RG, and we're
and I'm librarian.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wait, are you gonna do your intro?
No, go ahead and go introduce yourself or something.
Oh, I'm just librarian MC, so also an admin. Alright. And should we start off with the What questions do you want to start off with?
Are we doing an introduction?
Okay. Alright. Do you have that on the thing?
So what did we end up saying or deciding that we say who our bias is?
Okay. I'm MC, and my bias is Namjoon.
And I think you said like favorite hair color.
What?
Did you say like favorite hair color?
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Favorite hair color on him is I like silver. I like it when his hair is silver.
He was he actually looked very good in the what it's like an undercut shape style.
I forget what I didn't want to. It has a specific name for that haircut, and I didn't want to embarrass myself by saying it wrong. But it has a specific name. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I love it when it's shaved on the side and long on top.
What era was that?
I don't know if that's probably like so out of style now.
He could still pull it off.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, we're waiting for Anne. So this is RG. My bias is RM, and I think my favorite hair color of him would be the purple one.
Ooh, purple. That is good.
Yes.
Yes, and we're all like Namjoons here, so.
Yes, and admin A. What's her initials? Don't let me screw it up. What's Anne's?
Okay. Do you want?
Okay, go ahead.
And I know I can see AM there. She's
AM.
here.
Okay.
But she's got her voice muted. Maybe she can't like talk right now. Or figure it out. The button at the bottom left of the screen, AM.
She's right there.
Okay.
In spirit.
I guess you want me to read the question?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
The first question. Or are we going to ask? We have one person watching us. Should we add?
We have 4. I'm reading one from our YouTube channel. S said Anne loves RM.
Yeah. Yes, AM loves RM as well. Yeah. S is the one who likes J-Hope or Hobie.
Yes. Pretty much the majority of the admins are RM stans. Woo-hoo.
Yes. The book club likes Namjoon. Yeah. What about Destiny? Is she going to tell us? Would she like to tell us?
We actually have 5 people watching us. So that's no pressure. Anyway, initial thoughts for the book first.
Okay.
About the book.
Oh, initial thoughts about the book?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I read it the first time in high school. And I've read it once or twice since then. And so, to me, it's kind of weird reading it when older, when everything's not new and, like, mind-changing. But it was, the first time I read it, felt pretty revolutionary. It kind of changes the way you look at everything in society. And now I feel like, I don't know, I feel like George Orwell has some mommy issues. Or something. But I still love it. It's still enthralling and it still makes me think. So, yeah. How about you, Archie?
It's interesting, and I keep hearing like everyone like, oh, I read that book like a long time ago, and I'm like, how come I've never heard of this book? I only heard about this book when you read the 1Q84.
Mm-hmm.
So
you never heard of the book before?
No.
Really? Oh, that's so weird.
No, and it's funny because my husband was like, why are you reading 1984? I'm like, this is our book for the book club this month, and he was like, "Do you know I have a copy of that in our bookshelf?" I'm like, "No." And he actually had like one of the old, old copies, and he was already like brownish. It's that old. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I highlight my books anyway, so it's fine. But I I will try to finish it. I it's it's not the type of genre I'm used to reading, but it's interesting enough that I actually like it. I like the story. I think it's very interesting.
All right. Well, let's see how interesting we found it. If we can All right. Let's start with the first question. Is that what we do now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll read it.
Okay.
The world within which Winston lives is full of contradictions. For example, the party's philosophy that war is peace. What role do these contradictions serve on a grand scale? What role does contradiction serve within the framework of doublethink? How does doublethink satisfy the needs of the party? All right. Good question. That's really... let me think about it. Well, I think it's like... I feel like the contradictions serve on a grand scale. It's when if you say one thing, you're expected to say one thing, but do another, then truth never really matters. And what matters is conforming to whatever is going on around you. And that's what I think, doublethink and that kind of stuff does. It becomes, there's no objective reality, even though objective reality is hard to determine anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really no objective reality. You have to just commit yourself to, the herd. I hate to say the herd, but maybe to the social network around you.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you're a political party, or basically this political party is really just this sort of, it's a government network that has a system of control that works fairly well so far. So,
right.
I guess it just does a good job of keeping the social order in place and not revolutionizing it ever.
Right.
What do you think, Archie?
Is this the part probably I didn't read yet? I'll just say I agree with what you said.
Yeah. Well, it makes me, if you want to take it back, if you want to interpret too much, take it to, oh, hello, we have Mel. Hi, Anne Matinee. I'm calling you that.
Anne? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Admin
She's
Anne?
our matinee. So, I love that. But you can tell me to stop anytime, I will. But, yeah.
Well, she is our baby.
Okay. Oh, have you been listening to the discussion?
Not really. I was trying to fix it.
Yeah, you were kind of losing your mind over your microphone, I imagine. Yeah. Oh, let's see. What was I going to say? I do like to pontificate, so let's see. But when taking it back to, it makes me think of fake love a lot, actually. Especially, you know how they integrate, hear no evil, see no evil, say no evil. I forget what it specifically references. It has a name or it's a poem. I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about? The dance.
Yeah. Does that makes sense? Yeah.
Yeah, the color. And it's also when they start. That the hands in the background when they start the video for Fake Love.
Yep.
You know that. The carved hands in the wall behind them.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? I just want to make sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So that's the hear no, see no, say no evil positions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody knows that. But it's also this swirl, like a kind of looks like it's either a spiral or an eye kind of feeling, or both. But okay, what was I gonna say? But it makes me think of the, you know, let's see, double think is kind of like see no to evil. Newspeak is kind of like say no evil, and what was I gonna say? But like it's just that kind of stuff, that kind of control. Uh,
Yeah.
Because double think, it's sort of like you both believe one thing, you believe two things at the same time, even though they're contradict each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's a little deeper than hear no evil, say no evil, speak no evil, because there's no belief in that. There's no belief involved in them. There's much more. It's about believing it in 1984 on a certain level. And it makes me think of code switching as well. Okay, I should just shut up now. I'm meandering. All right. Okay. Should we move on to the next question?
Do you have anything to add?
I will have something to say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
Next question.
Next question? Oh, did you say you do have something to say or don't?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, next question. In the afterword, the commentator describes 1984 as a warning. Indeed, throughout the text, Orwell plants both subtle and overt warnings to the reader. What do you think are some of the larger issues at hand here? Does anyone want to answer this one first?
I did not get to that part, to be honest.
Okay, let's see. Specifically warnings. Yeah, see, I just really don't feel like it's a warning. I feel it's more descriptive of how things really are, but in some ways. But I think one of the good points I really like is he says at some point freedom is being able to say the truth. You guys must have gotten to the point where he talks about, at some point the party will probably try to convince us that 2 + 2 = 5. Did you get that point? Okay.
No.
But, that's just at some point. And I think even today we get a lot of that, like, people just, we talk about fake news and whatever the heck Donald Trump comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. But in this book, he says freedom is being able to say the truth, is being able to say 2 + 2 = 4. So I think it made me think, well, at least at this point, somebody can get up on Twitter and be like, 2 + 2 = 4, okay? And, even if everyone says it equals 5, at least, we haven't lost the ability, we haven't been too bullied and controlled, and our communication hasn't been controlled to the degree that at least somebody can say, no, the sky is not green, it's blue. So, I don't know. Okay. That's my answer to that question. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll try. I didn't read the book. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Welcome to book club. I'm drinking a martini, so woo. That's really why I'm here.
I don't have a drink. What's wrong with me?
Sorry.
So, the book kind of, if someone wants to know about our lives, it just use
Easy.
our, yeah.
No privacy. Like your phone can the camera and the audio can be recording it you at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and what did they have you read articles about China and how like basically their people are getting rated on like their behavior, pedestrian behavior and their parking behavior, and that affects other aspects of their lives because the government's following all of that. I should have looked that up. I really should have prepared more. I will next time. I swear. What?
That's some Black Mirrors.
Yeah, that's some Black Mirror. That's some Big Brother stuff because that's what they have these they're constantly being watched by the screens around them, and Winston has to curl up in a cubby hole where a bookcase should be, so his face can like be out of the. So his face, not only his face, but his heartbeat can be out of the way of the camera and the audio equipment. It just right in his little notebook, not even to say anything, but yeah. So, but in China, they've got some sort of thing where they're really watching people, but you know, it just makes me think of your credit score almost. So,
That's just very uncomfortable.
What?
I said that's just very uncomfortable to have somebody watch your every move.
yeah, and it is weird. I mean, even I get afraid of like, you know, giving too much information via Twitter or Facebook, and it's like,
right?
Is it gonna come back? And even if you're like, I'm not gonna be a celebrity or anything, but I mean, is it gonna be used against me someday by someone? So,
Yes.
And you know, Facebook is collecting all that information, and the government's really not cracking down on it. And the U.S. government collects that information because of what's it called, the Patriot Act. I think they're still collecting all that stuff, but all your phone numbers and phone calls, but more or less. And we still trust them more or less. So I don't know. All right.
We'll move on to question number 3.
Question number 3. Describe the role that O'Brien plays in Winston's life. Why do you think that initially Winston is drawn to O'Brien? Why does he implicitly trust him despite the enormous dangers involved?
Wait.
So, am I answering this question?
Go ahead.
Does anyone remember O'Brien from what they read?
O'Brien, I think Winston thought he was like not a friend, but he thought he's gonna be like his ally. But it turned out to be not. Like he turned out to be like working for Big Brother, if I'm correct.
Yeah, like part of the top police, I think.
Right. No, was it? He works under a Ministry of Love. And he was the one who tortured Winston. I got that from the chapter summaries.
Yeah, and I just, it seems like why did he trust him? But it's like O'Brien's the only person he would look at and think, that person's intelligent. He has thoughts in the back of his head.
Right.
And that's kind of like this weird, you know, as getting older, it kind of rubs me the wrong way that Winston himself kind of looks at everybody like they're ants. You know, and he thinks, I don't think he gives anyone around him the benefit that they're just, I mean, I think he sees they're as trapped as he is, But he really gets this assumption that he's somehow more woke than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they all might just be as scared and trying their best as he is. So, I don't know, that's not true. Then there's the girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. But I guess that's the scary part when something can act so trustworthy.
Right.
And it ultimately is, like, is your downfall. It's like, it's actually your biggest enemy and the most dangerous enemy that you could have.
That is true. Because I guess, like, for Winston, he thought that, you know, Brian shares the same principles with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you know, he eventually thought that O'Brien, he could trust O'Brien, but in the end,
yeah,
that
and he
wasn't
was
the
basically
case.
honeypotted.
That, yeah. That's a way to describe
rebellious
it.
honeypot, you know, for rebels, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that makes the system, I guess, if you could put that into the system, you can anticipate how people are going to basically question and begin to become dissatisfied with the system, and you know what those qualities, what to look for, and to know what they are, how their first moves are going to be. Yeah, you could really cut down on that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty sophisticated. The party has a pretty sophisticated system. If they can basically, they know how to put out agents and just cull the people that are silently trying to rebel against the system.
Right.
I don't know.
Sorry. Then should we go ahead and go to question number 4?
Okay.
All
right.
Unless...
What qualities does Winston possess that could define him as a heroic figure?
Oh, wait. What question did you read? Is it question number 4, right?
Oh, are we at, is it question number 4 or question number 5?
No.
Did I skip
or number
question?
4.
Oops, sorry. Okay, question number 4. Discuss the significance and nature of Winston's dreams. Deconstruct the dream wherein O'Brien claims they shall meet in a place where there is no longer darkness, and the dream in which Winston's mother and sister disappear. What deeper meanings do they hold? Why do you think Orwell devotes as much time as he does to Winston's dreams? All right.
The only place that he could really be himself or just freely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like where his brain's not consciously trying to police himself. What was the dream about his mother and sister? Already forgotten that.
Oh.
Let's see.
Mother and sister. I think they went into hiding, and then he felt like he was the one who murdered his mother and sister because he went
like
to he left them or something.
Yeah, they had looked at him like they knew that their lives were being sacrificed for his.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like some major survivor's guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Something too. I guess his parents had to go because they knew too much about how everything used to work.
Mhm.
So
What do you
that sort
think
of
of
clean
that?
slate kind of thing.
Like,
That kind of isolation, too. His immense sense of isolation from everyone. He even has a wife that he doesn't see. But yeah.
hmm.
All right. Next question.
Sure.
All right. What qualities does Winston possess that could define him as a heroic figure? Is anyone? Yeah. Is he a heroic figure? He kind of is, in the sense that I guess the only quality is that he's able to think for himself. And he does have some, and he's not only that, but he has vision for maybe things could be different.
Right.
But at the same time, he's kind of enfeebled, and he doesn't really have a master plan.
I felt like he was
like
just...
he's really just an emotionally desperate person, I think.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, like, personally, I don't think that's kind of heroic.
Yeah.
It's more like a rebellious kind of figure.
Yeah. And he's so isolated within himself. The only person he really has any sympathy for anymore is himself.
Right. And it just didn't feel like he was trying to save the whole nation or, everyone else. It just seemed like it was more for him than everyone else.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. That was easy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he would have been, it's a little heroic. I think he'd be happy in a culture that would allow him more of a sense of self-expression.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in a different life, he would have been a happy artist of some sort.
Right. And but
he's just like everyone else. Like, there's a scene where he goes down to the proles or the proletariat area of town, and a building gets bombed, or not bombed, like missiles dropped on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he covers and ducks his head, but like everyone else, he like kicks a hand. There's a hand, a disembodied hand on the road, and he just kicks it into the gutter to get it out of his way and out of his sight, and he keeps on walking.
Yeah, that's not really heroic.
And so he's just like everyone else in the sense. They're all desensitized to death, but they're all desensitized to each other as well. Mm-hmm. And even the proles, they have more of a connection with each other, but he's just such a snob. He looks at their petty little lives, oh look, the young ones, they're gonna fall in love and get married and then get fat and die. Like, he does say if there's gonna be the proles are the ones where the revolution could have them, but God, he could have just as little respect for them. He could just have a little bit more, respect for them than he does, but whatever.
Yeah.
Next question?
Uh-huh.
All right, question 6. How does Winston view Parsons, Syme, and O'Brien? How do they differ from Winston? What opinion do you think each one has of Winston? Okay, so I didn't get that far, and I don't remember those people.
Syme, I don't... Is it Syme? Syme, I don't remember.
Syme, yeah.
The Parsons, are the Parsons the ones living upstairs
of
his apartment?
Oh, maybe they are. Are they the ones living across the hallway?
They have the kids?
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe I have gotten that far. I just don't remember the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like the kids ended up calling the top police on their parents.
Mm-hmm. I do remember the dad was saying down with Big Brother in his sleep. Is
What
that
was
it?
it? I don't
I think.
remember.
Again, it's like with the dreams or what you said, like he could only be honest in his dreams, and even his next door neighbor, whom he despised like everyone else, was screaming down with Big Brother in his sleep, so his kids turned him in. Is that, and that's like the Nazi youth, right? Kind of stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's time I don't remember. I guess it was like in the first few chapters when Winston met up with Simon and O'Brien at not a bar, but they met up somewhere. I just don't remember.
Oh, is Simon the old man?
Is he?
La la la.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought I just had it right here.
Okay.
See, if we had more people, we could be filling in with stuff.
It says Syme is. I'm reading from the chapter summaries that I found online.
Mm-hmm. Good girl. Yeah.
An intelligent, outgoing man who works with Winston at the Ministry of Truth. Rings a bell? No?
Or is he like the one that does the poetry or something like the kids' rhymes or something?
Said he's as the novel opens, he is working on a new edition of the Newspeak Dictionary.
Okay. I don't remember much about science, so I can't really comment.
Even with this, I'm like,
Yeah.
Parsons.
I think we kind of already talked about O'Brien more or less.
Yeah. And then Parsons is, well, says a fat, obnoxious, and dull party member who lives near Winston and works at the Ministry of Truth. That's them.
Yeah, so basically, the more intelligent a person, the more Winston feels
connected
attuned to them.
Yeah.
The more someone seems to show, like, maybe they'd have an inner world that is their own.
All right. Well, we could continue on to the next question.
Yes.
Question. Oh, this is.
All right. Oh, okay, there it is. Oh, stop it. Stop it, computer. Okay, there we go. Question 7. Winston, reflecting on the omnipresence of the party, he thought of the telescreen with its never-sleeping ear. They could spy upon you night and day, but if you kept your head, you could still outwit them. Facts, at any rate, could not be kept hidden. They could be tracked down by inquiry, they could be squeezed out of you by torture, but if the object was not to stay alive, but to stay human, what difference did it ultimately make? What, in essence, is Winston saying about the lone individual in relation to the state? Does this contention remain true throughout the novel? I would say yes. More or less, except... Anybody have any thoughts?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I think we kind of talked about that a little already. But let's see. I wish I had just read the last couple of pages to refresh that for me, at least. But he, like, basically gets found out, tortured, and tortured to the point where he's made to love the party again, or, like, for the first time, and then they kill you. So, I guess in the sense, like, if you could be just, with torture, if you could just be just put down in so much fear that everything just becomes about staying alive. But then, yeah, you're not a person anymore.
Right. Would that be it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess so. But yeah. All right, we can't answer that question. All right, question number 8. What accounts for Winston's almost blind faith in the proles? What are some of the characteristics of the proles that in Winston's eyes make them the ultimate means for overthrowing Big Brother? I think I can talk about this.
All right.
I have an opinion already. I mean, I think they're much nicer. This question, I would have faith in the proles too if I was him, and I would have faith in them because they're underestimated and they're left to their own devices for the most part. I mean, they do kind of get cold like everyone else. Every once in a while, someone's too clever, too smart. They get taken away and never heard from again. But ultimately, I think the largest part of the population is the proles, and if they would ever decide to riot or just be fed up with the party, I mean, the party couldn't do anything. They'd be outnumbered, and they'd have nobody to work in their factories. So it's kind of like that, if they would just unionize,
Right.
they would unionize and teach each other how to read. If somebody could just teach them how to read. But, again, this is why Winston isn't much of a hero, because he didn't really have a vision. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go down to the proles. I'm going to teach them how to read. I'm going to build a silent army, and maybe, like, in a couple of years or a couple of centuries, like, they'll get their act together. I don't know. But, yeah.
And because it's really,
Anybody else?
M and A
it's
and
really real.
Any other thoughts?
It's kind of
Oh,
philosophical.
that's really quiet.
No.
Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're here. I can hear Ed.
Holy shit, are you guys still there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Oh, is my thing not working?
Probably. I could hear Anne.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say, can you?
I would just say that I think it's really real because most part of the population in the world they are not rich.
Sorry,
They
I can't
work
hear you
their
guys.
ass off every day.
If you are talking, it looks like you're talking.
Yeah, I am. And it's kind of philosophical because if the population would, have some kind of influence that would teach them or force them to actually move, to make something, to protest, it would change a lot of things in the governments of many countries. Like the movement that happened in Africa. I forgot the name. Sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had to switch to a different system. My headphones stopped working because my USB ports die constantly. So I'm out of USB ports. That's great. It's okay. I was saying that the population, the world's population of every country should protest and search for the rights, because many industries and the government themselves don't really treat the population like they should, like they really should, as writing the law. Hello?
What was the last part you said? Sorry.
Or what? What did you say? I say,
Like industry. What are you talking about?
I was talking about the population that they should, someone that really sees the society as it is today and should, influence the most part of the population that don't really have any education. It will be really a movement to change the government, change the world. It would be great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh.
Education in that sense is kind of key. Sorry, like everything on my computer is falling apart. I'm trying to focus on everything. Okay.
So
Ready
next.
to move on to question 9?
Yep.
Right. Julia is a key figure in 1984. In what ways does she influence Winston? Did you trust her initially? Overall, do you feel she had a positive or negative?
I feel.
I don't remember when I first read the book whether she seemed suspicious or not. RG, did you find her suspicious at all?
Well, at first Winston thought she was a spy because she was kind of following him. So, and then she turned out to have some feelings for him, and even then, I felt like she wasn't being true to her feelings to Winston. So I don't, and like in the end, she pretty much gave up on him rather quickly, or betrayed him quickly.
Yeah.
So.
You think she had a positive effect on him?
No, I don't think so. I felt like, yeah. I don't know. It's just like personally, I just don't trust. I didn't trust her character.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite terms from the book. He calls her a rebel from the waist down. She's willing to, the party is so anti-sex, and she's willing to just, she doesn't care. She'll have sex.
Right.
But she's not going to change anything.
Right.
She doesn't feel a need to, oh, wait a second, sex is okay, so maybe the party's full of crap. She doesn't care. She just goes and has sex, and then goes back to her daily life.
Right, yeah.
So.
Yeah, not. Yeah.
She's kind of happy with that.
Didn't have a good feeling with her at all in the first, when she first appeared in the novel.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't.
She was reading the book, so I really don't remember what it was like to read the book and not know what's coming.
Yeah, and then when she betrayed Winston rather quickly, I was like, well, that's not surprised. Yeah.
She has her way of living her life, and it's she doesn't feel the need to change anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I feel about legalizing marijuana. It's like all these people I know smoke marijuana illegally, and I know my parents smoked marijuana back in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And, why didn't they try to legalize it? If you're doing it and you don't see a problem with it, legalize it.
Exactly.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Right.
move
You have
on.
anything to say,
And
You have any
Not really.
no,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Alright, question 10. After his first formal meeting with O'Brien, Winston receives a book. In reading passages from this book, Winston is further enlightened as to how the current society came to be. If true, what does the theory of the high, middle, and low classes hold for the world? Is Winston's plan for the goals now altered? Why or why not?
You might have to answer this because this is the part where I haven't gone. I only read about it on the chapter summary,
Oh, yeah.
so it didn't really like give me
Okay, what did,
anything more about it.
what do you remember from the chapter? Do you remember anything from the chapter summary?
No, just the introduction about the high, middle, and low classes, and even then I don't really remember.
Actually, I found a page. I'll just read something from the page, and we'll call that discussing this.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright. It's like, okay, the first chapter is Ignorance is Strength. Throughout recorded time, and probably since the end of the Neolithic Age, there have been three kinds of people in the world: the high, the middle, and the low. Though they have been subdivided in many ways, they have borne countless different names, and their relative numbers, as well as their attitude toward one another, have varied from age to age. But the essential structure of society has never altered. Even after enormous upheavals and seemingly irrevocable changes, the same pattern has always reasserted itself. Just as a gyroscope will always return to equilibrium, however far it is pushed one way or the other, the aims of these three groups are entirely irreconcilable.
Mm.
So, we've got, the party thinks of itself as anti-capitalistic and anti-hierarchy,
Mhm.
but it is essentially a hierarchy, isn't it?
Yeah. Seems like it. Yeah.
There is a high, middle, and low. So,
The irony.
yeah.
Mhm.
George Orwell himself was a socialist. So, I think ultimately, his ultimate criticism seems to be mostly just, for
Right.
some part, hierarchy
Right.
as a human thing. I don't know, maybe not.
Okay.
Because it's like you need the low class in order for the high class to be the high class. So, and you need lots of low class. Okay. Question 11.
Mhm.
How, according to O'Brien, does the party differ from Nazism or Russian communism? How does he define the role of martyr of the party and the other totalitarian system? I don't remember that part.
I think this is like towards the end of the book,
Yeah.
or when
Yeah, that we haven't got to. I'm so sorry, guys.
admin fail.
Yeah, total. I could have just read the book. At least read the book, Margaret. You had one job.
Let's see, was it? I'm trying to remember when which part.
I don't even remember he mentioned anything about Nazism.
Well, I think this was.
Like hoping I magically land on them.
Is it like he says March is the reason of being of the state? Question mark. Yeah.
Is the martyr for... Does the party have a martyr? Oh my god, I don't remember.
trying to remember if this was the part where he got the book from O'Brien. Let's see.
Alright, well, I guess
This is when an ebook gets handy. You just type in marker and
Oh,
search.
yeah. Oh, I will remember that. Alright.
Well, we could,
Oh.
yeah.
Following his capture with submitted to cleansing and education, which he ultimately cannot resist. Alice Winston brought to love big brother, sacrificing Julia. Alice Winston is a signal to his own. Like, it's like Julia's like the only person he really, even if it's a fairly shallow connection,
Mhm.
I mean, she's really like the only person of any value in his life. So, sacrificing her is just basically sacrificing all that he has left of himself.
Right.
That sounds good. That's a good answer. I like it.
Yeah.
Re-education is just basically torture. Is this like the book where it's like rats and stuff?
Mhm.
Like they put rats around his head or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, they.
Room 101.
Yeah, they put
What?
They put rats, like a cage of rats, beside him. And O'Brien said, like, there are more, like, behind a wall or something that will eat him alive, pretty much. And then that's when he kind of gave up.
That's a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Or maybe no death at all, just slow pain. You know, the threat of it. Yeah.
Question 13? Or are you still looking?
Okay. Question 13.
Okay.
How would you describe the author's tone in 1984 as portraying characters? You just know the summary. I don't know, that's such a big question. Just to detract from the characters. Well, I'm wondering if, like, the kind of, I guess it adds, because, you know, I feel like Winston's such a snob, self-centered.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the tone of the book kind of adds to it, actually doesn't help it.
Right.
It's also, it's still a very limited perspective, as Winston has. It's as limited as Winston's perspective is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright. I got nothing to add.
yeah, it suits.
Yeah.
It suits the character design.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, question 14. What specific function does the party's directive on sexual interactions serve? Again, if, like, if you're isolated, I think it serves to isolate people, since, like, they have those celibate leagues, or they're pro-celibacy, and you're only allowed to marry someone if it seems like you're not attracted to them at all. So it's just really about procreating, I guess. Yeah. So, like, you're just basically reduced to a sexless being. What I find hilarious is, like, at some point in the book,
comments about wearing the blue jumpers and combat boots is just so desex kind of desexes people. And I'm like, you haven't been to the 90s, have you? Love combat boots and jumpsuit suits. We think they're great. We also don't always wear makeup. We get along. We have plenty of sex anyway. It would be a surprise. But I get it. It's all just, if you're trying to control, if you control somebody's sexuality, you really control.
That is exactly what Foucault wrote. The pure power.
Foucault?
Oui. Yes.
Why not we?
It's French power.
But what does Foucault say? Or paraphrase it?
It's just that, when someone regulates some norms around the ways to when you want to your sexuality, your way of relating to others, or this kind of thing, and when the government or some kind of power controls it, it's just that it is a kind of controlling a society, like heteronormativity. Did I say it well?
Yeah, it's like dreams, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the one place. I think your own sexuality is the one place where it kind of just happens. It's an instinct, and it's kind of, I guess you could, people lie to themselves about it, but I guess you can't really control when a person all of a sudden realizes, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is what I like. And it is about connection to other people as well. So, yeah. Or something.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts, Archie?
No. Nope.
Okay. Alright, question 15. How accurate do you think Orwell was in his vision of the future? In what ways does prairie society compare to his idea of society in 1984? Are there examples in which he was correct? Is it most opposite? Do you see a potential for aspects of Orwell's vision to come true? You guys can answer this question.
I don't know what was his vision. It's not the Big Brother fan.
Yeah.
But I think there's a contemporary society compared to his idea of society. As I've said in the beginning, like it's pretty much the government nowadays would actually they can watch us at any second. So it was kind of new for them, and I don't really know what year it was published.
1945. So there's a lot of made up future technology.
Yeah, it was like something unreal, but now we're in this pretty messed up society.
At least, I guess, right now, they could it's not an accepted fact that you will be watched and you will be judged. And you do have to, and I don't know if we really have the means to keep people in line, like, every second of the day. Like, that seems, I don't know how you could keep track of that. So, I don't know how you'd have the resources for that. But in some ways, we kind of govern each other that way.
That's true.
Sorry.
Question 6. During his final encounter with O'Brien, Woodson argues that if all else fails, the inherent nature of the individual, spirit of man, is strong enough to undermine a society such as that created by the free. You agree or disagree with the statement? Woodson believe applicable to the world we live in today? Can you cite examples in our own recent history that dismiss Woodson's belief, resiliency, and righteousness of the human spirit? I would agree. Applicable to today. Yeah. I mean, I guess the potential for change it still feels. I think we convince ourselves things don't change anymore, or things don't backtrack, but I think recently we've been surprised by some things, and some positive things are surprising. Like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, that kind of happened really fast, and I don't know. I don't know. Hey, what do you guys think?
To understand what's right.
Can you give me an example of that or that last question? Can you cite examples in our own recent history that supports or dismiss Winston's belief in the real resiliency?
It does make me think of the Me Too movement in the sense that, well, I mean, especially, are you guys familiar with the women's gymnastics doctor? I forget his name. It's like author Nasser, Dr. Nasser.
Mm-mm.
You know that story? The doctor of the girls' Olympics, the girls' Olympic lead of gymnast or whatever it's called.
I might have read about it somewhere.
Yeah, he had been molesting like hundreds of girls for over a decade.
Oh wow!
And you really have to watch. I forget what it's called in a court proceeding, but it's when like some of the girls are now grown women and they lined up to just give like 5 or 10 minutes like a statement to the judge, and in front of Dr. Nasser who had been prosecuted, determined guilty, just talking about their story, and it's just heartbreaking. And the first one who steps up, talks about her parents were friends with the doctor, and they didn't believe her when she said that he had molested her. And she said it had caused so much pain and depression, and she had it created like a fissure, or how do I want to put it? Like it made her grow distance from her parents, They even wanted her to apologize to the doctor for accusing him of molesting her, and she never did. She even would babysit the doctor's children because she saw that as protecting the children from the doctor. So this is happening to hundreds of little girls.
Molested hundreds.
Hundreds. Like he's a doctor for this girls' gymnastics. He sees he would molest them while giving them just a checkup. He molested one of the people who came up and gave a statement was a mother of a child. He molested her daughter in front of her, but she didn't notice because one of the things he would do more. One of the things he would just do is just insert his fingers. Sorry, is that too graphic? You know, he would just do something real quick, but enough for a child to know that it was wrong.
Right.
And and then if people felt like they had no recourse, and he only got prosecuted when some of these girls grew up, and then they signed a petition, got a petition passed around at night, and just basically finally got somebody at the police station to investigate him. And luckily, when they went to search through the doctor's belongings, they found on his computer like a recording of. I'm sorry, I'm going into this, but
No.
they found a recording of him molesting. He had actually recorded himself molesting some children.
Wow.
And and that's you could have hundreds of little girls saying, "This guy touched me," but what really did it was having that video. And so, how this all ties into 1984 and the human spirit, it's just, I'm trying to, it's that whole double thing where, no, this can't possibly be something that could happen. This can't possibly be the reality we're in. That's not part of the script. It's not part of the script. And so things get ignored that way. And every once in a while, I mean, at least we have some means to bring things into the light and some recourse for that, but it's still, I don't know.
I might look into that.
Somebody else talk.
I've never heard of this. I might look into it.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. 100 little girls nobody can't convince somebody, can't convince the law.
Right.
That, like, somebody's a child molester. One person's not going to either.
Right. Okay.
Okay. All right.
17.
Question 17. Prior to meeting her, Winston fantasizes about Julia in violent, including humiliating ways. Oh yeah. Later, he describes an empowering encounter with a middle-aged prostitute. How do you account for these? How does Winston's understanding women change after the first liaison with Julia? I was kind of shocked. I think there's a part where, like, he fantasized before he knew, like, when Julia was, like, following him, he fantasized, like raping her and slitting her throat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, Winston isn't my favorite person.
I just feel like Winston had so much rage in him.
Well, it's like, he's not allowed to be attracted to her. So maybe he's taking his frustration, obviously taking his sexual frustration, his fantasy. Like, he just wants to have sex with her, but he feels like he never could. And I guess that would make you angry. something, or would it? Sorry, now I'm just thinking of incel. I don't want to justify that. You guys know what incels are?
No.
No?
No.
Incelibates? Like those guys who feel like women are entitled to sleep with them, or they're entitled to sleep with women and they murder people? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's a really bad description. Never mind. Well, it's like it's you know the concept that you know you want that trophy wife or that trophy girlfriend, and you earn that by like I guess being good at one thing or having a job. And if you don't get that trophy wife or trophy girlfriend, you feel entitled to it. So like there's like all these on 4chan and Reddit people bitching about how they're entitled to somebody like screwed them over in the deal and they aren't getting the women they should be getting. So and then occasionally you have murder cases in America where a guy was really into that kind of philosophy and just murdered a woman.
All right.
Wow. I'm sorry, is this all too dark? Any thoughts, guys?
Not really.
No. No. I'll probably just add it later on. But yeah, we can go.
Should we stop with the questions?
Well, we have like 3 questions left.
You want to keep going?
Sure.
Okay. Question 18. Okay, given Winston's own acknowledgement that he is under surveillance, that it would only be a matter of time before the thought police caught him, which character or characters did you envision betraying Winston? Or did you foresee his ultimate demise? Did you, on the contrary, feel that by some chance he would force him to fight against him, fulfill his wish to conquer? It's hard to say, because I know how everything happens, so I can't remember, like, what I thought would happen back in the day. Do you guys think, how do you guys feel that, like, he just ends up getting caught? I mean, that's the ending. What do you guys think of an ending like that?
Like, let's see, I was reading. Like I said earlier, I just felt like Julia was, will end up eventually betraying him first. And then I felt like O'Brien was still kind of
Still hope there.
leery. Yeah, I was hoping that he could be his way out, but eventually he didn't. It didn't. I guess like the least character that I didn't feel suspicious of is the old man who owns the shop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you thought you were suspicious of him?
No, because his character just seemed like innocent. He's kind of like an old man who owns this antique shop. Nothing really threatening about it, but he ended up being the like a thought police, something like that. And
Was he?
yeah, I think he ended up.
I don't remember. Was the old man like someone who turned him in?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was the one who turned him in.
That would make sense because he like sells all the stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Which, again, why we feel kind of weird revealing ourselves on our social media account.
Right, yeah. Alright, we could continue on if you want.
I guess so. Yeah. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Question 19. Think back to Winston's conversation with the old man. Why is Winston so determined in his approach to the old man? What is Winston introverted? You guys remember, or do you remember that part, Archie?
I'm trying to remember. I think I feel like Winston's hoping to learn like maybe he was hoping there is a way out.
I think, like, I remember. Okay, yeah, it's like one of the last things I read. Okay, I don't know. He was trying to figure out if since old man had been there before the revolution,
Mm-hmm.
like he was trying to ask the old man, like, is life better now than it used to be? Because the party is always talking about how life was so terrible, and those people, those capitalists in the top hats, nobody had shoes, and he couldn't even get from the old man role, like, to basically answer yes or no on that, because the old man just would just start talking about an antidote.
Right. Yeah, that's what.
Like, yeah. The old man didn't seem to understand what he was getting at.
Mm-hmm. It felt like Winston was just like looking to verify his own answer, but he can't find the answer that he wants to hear from the old man, pretty much.
Yeah, so there's no history books he can reference.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like, there's no memory of his own. And he can't even find somebody else who can remember. Well, the old man obviously would be able to remember, but the old man's just so, detail-oriented and just, like, scattered brain that he doesn't understand what Winston was trying to ask.
Right, yeah.
I guess never really cared to think about that question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then I remember like Winston just leaving the pub.
Yeah. Just being
like he didn't really get the answer he wanted.
Yeah. Just giving up and leaving.
Yeah. Last question?
Yeah. Imagine yourself as Winston Smith at the beginning of 1984. We can do that. What would you do to undermine the party, knowing what you know now? How would you extricate yourself from the fate that awaits you? Again, that's, as I said before, I would try to be as secretive as possible, and I would try to, like, go and educate one troll at a time, and maybe hope that they would start living, use trap doors and fake bookcases to hide books and stuff. Maybe start a library for the troll.
That would be a good idea. Kind of like a hidden, like a secret society, something like that.
Yeah, and like and as he said, like his hope is in the trolls. If you could just convince the trolls to riot and stop working and not giving a shit about and get mad at the party, like it'd be over.
Right. Yeah.
If you could do that, the party would be over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got this.
Yeah. Try not to be trusting. Kind of like what he did with O'Brien and Julian and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, you have to be completely like self-negating.
Right.
You have to give up on doing anything like risky unless it was part of your plan. Unless it was part of an education you'd have to like become the fiercest, most loyal party member. You'd probably have to start just turning people in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Too. Like, it would be a huge endeavor.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. If I'd be able to do it, even if I knew to do it.
Yeah, it would be like a long process.
Yeah.
That will take a while
Yeah.
to actually.
You know, but I guess it'd be worth it because it seems like there's nothing happening about his life.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah, he just didn't do a well thought of plan or something. No, he just kind of like, oh, all right.
That's what it's interesting. He just thought him rebelling, just himself having rebellious thoughts was enough. Like, that was the end goal for him. Really.
Yeah.
It wasn't to overcome, it was just to, like, self-actualize, you know. So, maybe in some way, like, in his own way, he was successful, even if he was, like, eventually killed. All he was really looking for was to allow himself to question Bigfoot.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think he ever got beyond just allowing himself to question that. That to him was kind of where he was fixated and navel gazing.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge? But yeah. Alright, we got through the question.
Final thoughts?
Let's talk about BTS.
Do it says final thoughts and theories?
Anybody have final thoughts?
Very interesting book.
I wish I had reread the whole thing.
I'm gonna have to read the rest of the book to make some.
You can discuss it with your husband.
He's probably like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I'm kind of like dragging my butt from reading this book is because I highlight, and then me and my friend were actually talking about if RM recommended this book, and she said
what
yes.
book?
The 1984.
Oh.
Did he? Can you hear me?
Are you talking about IQ 84?
No, 1984.
Okay. Oh, exactly. Oh, is this an RM book?
What is it? She said it. My friend said it like RM recommended it or something. It's one of his recommendations. Because I'm like just from like the cover of the book, the iris or the eye.
Yeah.
It's like oh shit, that's DNA right there.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have, because I highlighted a lot of stuff that I just kind of like makes me go back
I just
to.
thought it was because it was connected to IQ 84 and was kind of a play on words on it. I didn't know it was also a recommend.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I mean, kind of like the more I read it, the more I read into it, the more it was kind of like making sense, like theory wise. Because the whole the dream of Winston's dream of rats, his fear, it makes me want it. My first thought was J-Hope with his Snickers bar, and I'm like, yeah, kind of. Some kind of. Because I.
No, that's interesting. I like the connection.
Yeah, I felt like that was like like the Snicker bars is kind of like his fear. Like there's something about it, like how it traces back. Yeah, it's kind of like it traces back to like when his mom left him or something.
Yeah, his mom abandoned him at like a theme park.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and so what? Maybe I
destructive with fire. Jimin's got water, and Jin's got air. Well, I was thinking fire, water, air, Snicker bars. Like, wow, those are 4 elements right there.
And the telescreens is like the one thing that intrigued me the most, because we see a lot of televisions in their music videos, and then some of their VCRs too.
Oh yeah, like social media. Well, like V's whole thing is like narcissism, right? Like his whole thing, part of his thing.
Part of his thing. Yeah.
And that's like the cell phone.
Yeah. So I just like I found like in Kafka I found some connections, and then with this book with 1984 I did found a lot of things that I could probably make a theory out of. I'm still, yeah, it will take me a while to actually make a theory thread.
Yeah, I think you can come up with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I just need to finish reading the book. Because I guess like some of from what I've read too, like there are some connections with 1Q84. It's just I couldn't get past it. 1Q84 was just.
When I picked it back up, I was like, did I really read this whole thing like a year ago? I just randomly, I liked the book 1984, and I saw this title in a bookstore, IQ84, and I was just like, oh, that seems interesting. now I'm like, wow, I read that whole thing, but
Did you
too
really?
much to remember.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just the parallel universe and the whole like two worlds. Yeah, that was just interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everything. Like perception of reality, and how do you know? Or like in philosophy, I think it's called, if I say correctly, like epistemology. Like, how do you know what you know? So, what makes something a fact? Is it because you heard it on YouTube, or has it been tested? And the things the assumptions we make, and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, there's just a lot of
perception.
Interesting connections that I found that I need to. That's why I said I need to finish reading the book so I could actually make that thread. Hopefully, it will make sense.
I think we lost AM.
I think. Did we? No, her microphone's muted, but we're already gonna end or stop. Or we're already towards the end anyway.
Do we discuss here what we want to do for the next book?
No. Well, we could.
Later.
I don't think anyone else is watching our live stream anymore. So let me go ahead. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and stop the stream.
Yeah.
Well, for everyone who joined us, thank you, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
All right. Let's stop the stream.